Howdy y'all, got the Bulldog on the channel. What we got in today is this little Chevy Colorado. And it is to the point where it's really difficult to put fuel in. Click, 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 click. So what we're doing, I got the canister off of it here. I'm gonna pop the filter out. I gotta blow the line out. When I took the line off of here, it just dumped powdery dust out, just that real chalky dust. And I'm going to blow the lines out, but I got to take this out because otherwise it'll damage this valve. This is the code that it had. This valve was wanting to stick. It was trying to purge out and it wouldn't purge out. So this is plugged up with that chalky dust. You can see it on my hands. This is a local farmer and this is his runaround truck. It's always on the gravel, so. And we're, in almost a drought, not too bad, but it hasn't rained in a while and it's ground up pretty fine out there. Nothing's settling the dust down, so we're starting to see a lot of this. I'm gonna pop this apart. We'll see what's in there. Okay, I made a mess all over everything. I blew all this off and this is all that come out of that hole. And see, I wonder why that valve would start sticking. Got a little spring there. Now, if I try to put air to this, blowing it back through there, it will damage this valve. So you don't want to do that. It's a quarter turn, you pop it, rotate it counterclockwise and pop it out. What we got down in there is just dust. Dust. So I'm gonna put the air to it, blow it all out, and get all that junk out of there as much as I can anyway. All right, we're all back together, dropping it on the ground here. I went in to the functional test, and I can actuate. See, this one, Chevrolet, you can actuate the solenoid that's in there. Now, we'll see if we can be quiet. See if you can hear it down there. I hope that comes out. Just kicking it on and off, on and off. The code that was in it was a performance problem, which usually means the computer knows that it is kicking, but it is not venting properly. Down in the generic OBD2, it said circuit problem, the same code. That's the difference between actual diagnostics and code reader. Code reader is generic, it just problem. That's as general as you get. I know there's a problem, that's why it's here. It could be easier if you give me a little bit more to go on. But like I say, I took it all apart. I blew that little foam filter out that it had, blew the tube out that goes up. It'll run up here and be clipped to the top of the fuel fill right there. It's kind of stupid the way they put it back here, because the people that build these things don't ever leave asphalt. But they're smarter. They're smarter. They told me so. I just have to, fix what they put out. We're gonna take it to the fuel stop and shoot the fuel to it. Make sure it don't kick off. This is why it's always a good idea to double check yourself when you get done with the repair. Yes, I found a bunch of dust in that canister, but it wasn't a gigantic amount. I found a bunch of it in that valve, but the valve was working. Well, goes test drives it, comes back, no light, but we check it anyway. That is a 2-trip system. It means it has to fail twice, 2 different tests, before it'll turn that light on. It failed its first test. I blew that hose out, but That doesn't mean that it was clear. Here's the filter. Plugged, solid. So, yeah. You couldn't get rid of its air. There's no problem filling it up. But it couldn't pull vacuum. It could get rid of pressure, but it couldn't pull vacuum, and that's how it tests itself. Because Chevrolet tells us how that works and allows us to trigger different things. So we were able to, turn the canister purge on and off, turn the vent on and off, and know whether or not it was actually passing vacuum like it's supposed to. What I'm going to do, this stupid filter mounts right here underneath this hole right here. There was a clip on the back side, and the filter sits there. I think it actually got wet and drew dust, but we're going to change the location. We're going to put it up here under the hood. That should eliminate his issues. But like I said, double check yourself. You might be wrong, or you might be right, but you don't go far enough. We're going to take care of this. So we're double checking here. I've just done a little bit more work to it. We got the purge solenoid 100% open, and we're pulling 6 inches of vacuum. Now I'm gonna back off to 0, and then it is immediately dropping all the vacuum off. Immediately. So what that tells me is what I did, I relocated the filter up to the top, up inside the engine compartment, and then I took and eliminated that plastic pipe that hooked to the canister underneath and looped over top of the fuel tank and up there to behind the fuel neck. Because I went ahead and moved it up there, but I used that flexible pipe and it had a restriction in it. I tried blowing it out with shop air and I still couldn't do it. So, like, well, okay, I'm going past the canister anyway. I just took the hose that I'd put in there, stuck it over top of the frame, looped it around, put the clip on there, and put it right on the canister with the factory elbow. Clipped it right on there. And now we're good. What it does is it pulls vacuum into the fuel tank and then shuts the canister purge off so that it quits providing vacuum to the fuel tank and watches how quickly the vacuum drops off. And it was barely dropping. It was almost not moving. So I had blown that hose out. I thought I'd got it. I just didn't get sealed up good enough, and it was coming through the sides. So now it's good to go. We've double checked ourselves, and I'm confident that we're not going to be setting any more codes. So like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.